10 years ago, I saw a YouTube video that I would never forget. It's not a super popular video, though it does occasionally pop up on Reddit and TikTok for people to be confused about, and I just figured, since it popped up again today, why not talk about it? Now, to give just a bit of context to the video, what happened is there was a man publicly filming a woman who was doing like stretches in New York. I believe it was for a photo shoot. So she was doing like really big stretches, and he got his camera out and started filming her ass and crotch and getting like these really creepy up close shots, obviously without her permission, and then was eventually confronted for it, and that leads us to what happens in this video.
Excuse me, I don't really want you taking a picture of her butt.
Excuse me, old bag.
Are you taking a picture of her?
Excuse me?
Are you taking a picture of her?
I'm videotaping her, yeah.
Well,
you have a problem with that?
Yes, I do.
Why are you doing it in public? I can't videotape?
You can't videotape her butt.
I can videotape her.
He was being blatantly obvious with what he was doing here. He wasn't trying to hide it. He was getting like up close shots and cinematic angles of her ass, damn near treating it like he was giving her a colonoscopy with his camera, so the crowd called him out for it. This is the first time we get to hear his voice, and what a pleasant sound it is, like a chorus of angels. This guy's got some golden pipes. His voice sounds like an actual cartoon character. He sounds like he'd be a scummy businessman on Rocko's Modern Life. Like, he sounds like Foghorn Leghorn pitched down and chewing bubblegum. It is such an interesting tone that this guy produces from his vocal folds. I can't believe it actually exists in the real world. So he gets into an argument. He calls this lady an old bag, which again is an insult straight out of an old 60s cartoon. And then it continues to escalate a bit further.
Try.
Videotape her crotch.
Excuse me?
You don't have to videotape
You're the
her
one thinking the
crotch.
thoughts. I didn't say do
You're
that or
standing
think
right
that.
there.
I'm shooting from this angle. That's mind your business. I'm in public. I'll do whatever the hell I want. Shut up.
I mentioned this happened over a decade ago, and you can really tell. You can kind of carbon date this video, because we as a species have devolved so much since then that if this happened today, no one would have really directly intervened. They would have just pulled out their own phone to videotape this guy to shame him on TikTok instead of actually try and like get into an argument in person. It would have just been all fought through Twitter and TikTok counter videos. Now, I don't want to bring the mood down, but the person filming this was actually a known IRL troll. His name was Joey. I'm saying was because he's no longer in this corporeal realm. He died of a heroin overdose about 6 years ago. But his claim to fame was he would go out in public and just annoy people and make people mad and film it. From everything I've ever seen from this guy, all he did was just try and make everyone around him miserable in public. So he was kind of like the world's first IRL streaming nuisance way before it got popular on Twitch.
Excuse you. Excuse you. Who the hell are you?
Don't worry about who the fuck I am. I'm right in the middle of your shit, so what the fuck?
What the fuck?
This is what it's all about. That line is what makes this video so special. An iconic line up there with the best, like "May the Force be with you." A timeless classic. The biker comes in and he says, "Don't worry about who the fuck I am. I'm right in the middle of your shit, so what the fuck?" It's just, like, there's just so many layers to that onion, I couldn't even begin to peel it. Like, you just, like, it takes so long to just digest. It's something that just marinates with you for so long. You know, it's hard to wrap your head around it. The human mind wasn't meant to comprehend that level of genius. It's perfection, honestly. You know, he's there for the right reason, right? Like, hey, this guy's being super creepy. I'm going to step up and, you know, get this creepy guy away from everyone. But he's also very confused, right? His heart's in the right place, but, you know, he doesn't exactly know how to go about it. It's as the expression goes, his eyes were bigger than his stomach. He bit off more than he could chew. He knew what the mission was. He knew the assignment, but couldn't quite get a grasp on how to complete it. But I'd say he failed successfully.
What the fuck? All right, Goober. Let go of my camera, Goober. Let go of my camera, Goober.
Get that out of my face.
Don't touch my camera, Goober.
Get that out of my fucking face.
I don't think so. I'll leave it right there, Goober. All right, Goober. Nice outfit, too.
Yeah, you wish you could work as fuck as hard as I can.
Right.
Unfortunately, yet another blunder from the biker here, trying to puff out his chest with another line that he doesn't quite nail the delivery of. He says, "Yeah, you wish you could work as hard as I can," or something to that effect. Meanwhile, he's just getting blasted by the Goober assault here, and it's super effective. It's like a Pokemon battle, and he is blasting him down with the Goober offensive attacks. So he keeps calling him a Goober. The biker's getting uncomfortable. You can really see that the embarrassment is starting to set in there. There was a comment on TikTok or in the YouTube comments, I don't remember where now, where it said every time he says Goober, the biker loses 10% health, and that shit had me giggling. I saw it twice, and it couldn't be more accurate to what's happening here. And I feel really bad because the biker's the one on the right who's trying to stop this guy from just filming ass non-consensually in public, like he's being a real weirdo. But the biker just can't quite pull it off without embarrassing himself too.
Right.
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 You're not getting shot.
I'll see whatever I want. Dude, you just rode over my foot.
Hey, man, chill out, dude.
I'm 17.
I'm gonna ask you.
Dude, you just rode over my foot. Get it? Don't touch me. Don't touch me, dude. Don't touch me. Just ran over my foot. That's why you got dropped.
This isn't exactly where the video ends. It ends about 8 seconds later where he calls him a goober a couple more times before he scoots away. He zooms off into the night. So the lady that was doing the photo shoot or stretching, whatever was happening there, that's still up to interpretation. No one knows for sure. It's just the most accepted story I've seen is that she was in the middle of a photo shoot in New York there. But she leaves because this guy's scared her, obviously. The entire crowd leaves because this guy's fucking unhinged. And this confrontation between him and the biker and the rest of the crowd is just escalated to a point where now his foot's getting attacked by the bicycle, you know? And the way this guy talks, Joey, the one behind the camera, reminds me of like a kid in a department store who's upset because his mom didn't give him enough chocolate. Like the way he says his words reminds me of a temper tantruming kid. But god damn it, I'll have to admit, this guy knows his way around insults. The way that he just uses goober, it's masterful. He's truly perfected the art of calling someone a goober. The way that he's able to enunciate it, as well as his really goofy sounding voice, it's the perfect compliment to the word goober. Every time he says it, I smile a little bit. It's like, oh, that's so silly. Why would he say that? But the biker's clearly not finding it silly, nor is anyone around him. But it's just something so unique about this whole interaction here. So yeah, I just wanted to briefly talk about this video since it's one that I've known for a long time and I feel like maybe a lot of you have never seen it before, so I really wanted to open your eyes to it at least. Also, maybe now you've seen how effective the word goober can be in an argument. You know, next time you're at a bar and you get into a bit of a verbal confrontation with someone, maybe slip in the word goober and see if you can break it up a little bit, you know, you start shattering their spirit. And also, don't do heroin. Heroin's not good for you. So, just a little quick PSA there, don't do that. And yeah, that's really about it. So yeah. I'm sure all of us have been lonely and desperate at some point in our lives. It helps build character. But very few of us will ever have the same level of courage as this man I'm about to show you, to step up and do something about it. He said, "Dag nabbit, I'm tired of being alone, and I'm ready for a girlfriend." So, he used his 6th grade choir experience as well as finding an acoustic royalty-free song off Facebook, and then created his masterpiece, a song that dwarfs every other song that's ever come before it. And he sent it to a random girl off Twitter, hoping that she'd marry him, I guess. I don't really know. Let me go ahead and show you.
Hi. So, today on Twitter.com, a man sent me a very long DM about how he found my account and decided to write a song about me.
And they say romance is dead. Who doesn't want some greasy stranger somewhere in the world writing a song about you? I think that's beyond chivalrous. Also, this is something I've talked about briefly, but it's wild. If you're just a woman on Twitter just existing, dudes will DM you sometimes and just give you money for the sake of existing. It's called pay piggies. It's fucking crazy. It's such a wild atmosphere. But unfortunately for her, he wasn't giving her money. He was giving her like the opposite of money. Something that like drains her just having listened to it, which is an awful song. Like this terrible ballad you're about to hear.
This man decided to continue the message by saying that he's never written a song about anyone, not even his wife, and that he had to ask his wife's permission in order to finish the song.
Sorry, just one more quick segue before getting into the song here I need to talk about. this man doesn't have a wife. There's a 0% chance of that. This man's probably never even held a woman's hand before. That was absolutely a play to make it sound like he's getting pussy and, like, you know, desirable. Like, hey, look, women love me. I even have a wife, if you can believe that. And I even had to ask her permission to write this song. So, you know, everything's all good. You know, I'm not going behind her back or anything. I'm a good guy and women like me. It's just a weird lie this guy's telling 100%.
Whoa, Lauren, you're in your own league. Watched your videos on Twitter just to hear you speak. And yeah, you do sound as cute as you look. Congrats, I suppose.
Gets worse.
She's not wrong, but there's already so much to digest in just the intro here. So this is very Hey There Delilah-esque, if that was written by a psychopath. You can also kind of just feel the desperation oozing from the lyrics here. You have to be in a pretty weird state of mind to think that this is a good idea under any circumstance, just writing a song about a stranger and then sending it to them as your first contact with that person. That's pretty wild. But let's look at the lyrics, you know. Hey there, Lauren, I watched your videos just to hear you speak. And yeah, you sound as cute as you look. Congrats, I suppose. You know, wow, I'm fucking sweating over here. Very smooth, what a silver tongue. The lyrics are inspired, to say the least, but it almost sounds insulting at the end there with the congrats, I suppose. It doesn't even rhyme with anything there. He just like threw that in as if he's like salty about it, like, yeah, congrats, I guess, you fucking harpy.
Lauren, only you know what you could do to my wife, my beautiful children and comfortable life with a push of your will.
Move over, Johnny Cash. Hoo-wee! This one's about to bring a tear to my eye, to be honest. Let's go ahead and go over this one as well. A little pit stop again. Lauren, only you know what you could do to my wife, my beautiful children and comfortable life with the push of your will. I wasn't exactly an English major in school, nor did I really study literature or anything, so I've got to tell you, I'm a little confused on the meaning behind these bars here. But they are fire, of course. But what is exactly the meaning behind it? Only you know what you could do to my wife. What is that, like, does he think Lauren's gonna go over there and beat her ass or something, or replace her? I don't really get it. Like, with the push of her will, she could do something to his wife and his kids. The comfortable life I get, like, he'd leave behind his life to be with Lauren. I understand that. I see what he's trying to say there. But then also, let's go back to, like, the beginning here where he said that he needed to ask his wife's permission to write the song. I could see why. It makes a lot of sense why he'd probably want to ask his wife's permission when he's writing a song all about leaving her for a different woman and throwing behind their kids and his life for a random woman on Twitter. I could see why he'd need the okay from his wife for this, assuming she exists, which she absolutely doesn't. But I'm suspending disbelief trying to understand what this all means, because I don't really get it. I think the whole message there is, I would throw my wife in the fucking sewer and leave my kids at school, tell them I'm going to get cigarettes, if you just gave me the word, Lauren. If it was your will, I would throw everything behind. I'm ready to risk it all for you.
Hey Lauren, are we in common? Are you over-trusting? Are you analytical? Do you feel everything?
It sounds like I'm listening to the background track of a shitty commercial with that xylophone hit, the ding! That little bell that keeps sounding with the generic acoustic guitar chords behind it. It just doesn't even seem like it's supposed to be a love song. There's nothing romantic about it at all. It just sounds like a cry for help. This guy should have let me ghostwrite it for him. I'll hit you with a timeless classic to really wiggle your finger to and get you laid. Hey darling, hey, let me love you. Let me kiss your pretty lips. I'm feeling kinda hungry. Let me eat those titty chips. I'll be honest, I'm all alone, but give me your hand and let me give you a home. Yeah. Hey, that's not bad. That's a chart topper, honestly. I'm gonna fucking write that down.
And more, I guess you're like razors of steel, with grace and zeal and sex appeal, all dwarfed by your will be still be.
So anyway, I blocked him.
The nice guy loses again, god damn it. What is wrong with society when a banger like this ends up getting you blocked instead of getting you dick deep in some good high quality vagina? Blows my mind. It makes me sick, honestly. Just couldn't appreciate the fine wordplay and zeal and sex appeal. Oh. In a follow-up video, she showed the DMs here, and they're a lot worse than I expected them to be. So first of all, the amount of comma splices Alan's using here is insulting. So he begins with, "We never met and probably never will, but I had the pleasure of reading one of your articles, and as one does after reading an article, I looked up the writer, in this case you, first hit Twitter, and I had a nose around your Twitter, whatever you call it, feed page, I don't know, but anyway, I got inspired by those first 30 seconds or so because you're quite, well, impressive." God, the way he writes, I can immediately picture exactly what Alan looks like. He wrote this while taking a sip of tea with his pinky out and caressing his soul patch. "So I wrote a song inspired by you, and I've recorded a demo to bring to the studio next week, and I thought it would be a nice thing to let you know. I've never had a song written about me, neither has my wife, or at least I don't think she has, but I imagine you get that all the time." Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's totally normal. What a flex. This is going to be turned into a big song. He's going to the studio to record it. I can't wait to hear it on the radio. 98.9 delivering the hits here with, "Hey there, Lauren, I'm outside your window." He then finishes it off by saying, "My mate/business associate and emailed you pretty much the same thing, but don't know if you actually got that or if I sent it to the right address for that matter. Yeah, red wine on an empty stomach equals messy me." Jesus Christ. One thing about the song, I actually needed to get permission from my beautiful wife to actually finish writing it. Can you imagine? No. No, I can't. I actually can't imagine. You didn't need permission from your beautiful wife to write it, nor did your business partner email it to you, because you even dropped that ruse in the next sentence by saying, "I don't know if I sent it to the right address." So you immediately forgot that you just told her it wasn't you that emailed it. I digress. What a ride. So let's see how he responded to being blocked.
My man said, "Oh, blocked, K. Should have said this is a fictional thing, not to be taken literally kind of thing. Ah, well."
Listen, Lauren, you see, you misunderstood the song. It's a work of fiction, which means it's not weird. This is totally normal, and you fucked up by thinking it's supposed to be real. But if you so happen to choose, I would actually leave behind everything for you. That's not fiction. It's, just one of those things. A little too desperate, I would say. I would say this was really swinging for the fences, and it didn't work out, which is pretty predictable. The song was trash, and the idea behind it of just writing a random song about a stranger you've never met as a way of coming on to her and flirting with her is weird. Even if fucking Harry Styles did this, it would still be a weird thing to do. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, that whole idea just doesn't really track well. So, just wanted to talk about this a little bit. If you were thinking it's a good idea to write a song for a girl you have a crush on and the girl doesn't know you exist, it's not a good idea. Let this be a lesson. That's about it. See ya. Today I watched a video that was physically painful for me to sit through, which is pretty uncharacteristic because I'm not really the kind of guy to cringe at anything or find it hard to finish a video. I've never failed a try not to cringe challenge or anything like that. I'm the kind of guy that could watch 2 girls, 1 cup while eating chocolate ice cream and not feel a thing. But I saw a video today that was just hard for me to watch because it reminded me so much of me. A while ago I made this video telling an embarrassing story from my life where I hyped myself up in the mirror for days leading up to this climax where I would go to GameStop and tell the girl that worked there she was beautiful, and then I finally did it. I panicked and ran away from her, just sprinted out of there as if the building was on fire. It was basically a ding-dong ditch with a fucking creepy compliment attached to it. To this day, I'm still shocked she didn't report me to authorities, just call the police as I was running away. I wouldn't have been surprised to see a police sketch of my face posted on all the wanted posters or something looking for the creepy GameStop guy. But anyway, this is relevant because the video I want to share with you today, it's a video of a guy who did almost exactly what I did, but without running away. And my god, it's bad. It proved to me that I made the right call sprinting out of there that day, because it could have been much worse. It could have been as bad as what you're about to see here. It's very clear that under no circumstances does this ever really work because real life is just not like anime.
What?
Are you in high school?
No.
Graduated?
Yeah.
So you're in college?
Mm-hmm.
Where
Kent.
at? That's around.
Yeah, it's about 40 minutes.
This guy's smooth, the small talk is going well, you can see that she's really engaged in the conversation and enjoying every second of it. This is, I think what the pickup artist community calls the Shogun method. It's like a forbidden jutsu because it's deemed too powerful. It makes women just want you all the time and you drown in sodden panties. So the Shogun method is just outlawed in most countries for being just too strong. But this guy, he's breaking all the rules. He's busting out the Shogun method right here, right now, and you can really see just how effective it is.
How old are you?
19. I think you got it. Yep.
What city is Kent in?
Kent.
I really do wonder how long he'd been here trying to flirt like this for, because she stopped and started the recording multiple times and he was still going. She also started this video like in the middle of a conversation that he was trying to start. So I have to imagine it'd been like 10 minutes of him just unsuccessfully fucking diarrheaing out bad small talk. Like, I don't know why he'd continue when it's very clear she's not interested. She's giving one-word answers. Yeah, no, Kent. And he's like, yes, fuck, nice, jackpot, bang.
There's a city called Kent and the college is called Kent.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like East Cleveland?
No, it's Kent, Ohio.
So it's not even part of Cleveland?
No.
It's part of Northeast Ohio?
I guess.
I'm gonna take this.
Okay.
My country.
My man's been stun-locked by Kent. He's on like a whole side quest with the Kent lore here, and it's not really doing him any favors. And then he gets a little quirky and takes money out of their tip jar, I guess. I don't really know what that is about, but, you know, all power to him. You know, if I can't get this girl's number, I might as well take the money from the tips over here, so that she'll remember me then as a bad boy.
321.
Can I pay with this? And oh shit, it's already there. Is both these mine?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, You wanna know my pin?
I'm good.
Damn. Shucks, I can't believe that one didn't work. You know, they say chivalry's dead, but come on, this guy's doing his best, offering to give away his PIN number to her. I mean, that's sweet. There's no doubt in my mind this guy doesn't give a fuck about stickers. He came in here because he must have seen her when he was walking by. I think this is a hot topic, I'm not sure. And he's like, oh my god, I've got to go in and at least try. So he just sat there for a little bit. He's like, I can do this, I can fucking do this. He went in there, panicked, and grabbed a handful of fucking Adventure Time stickers or something. He's like, oh my god, shit, I have to commit to this. Maybe that's what ruined his chances. She thought less of him because he was buying stickers. He should have just done the Always Sunny in Philadelphia method. Should have just went in there and just, hey, where do you keep your Magnum condoms for my Magnum dong? Also, what's the deal with Kent? You know, he really likes Kent, I guess, because he's treated this lady like she's the goddamn tour guide for Kent. So, I mean, I feel like there might have been a better play if he had only just grabbed the better item. Because there's no doubt in my mind he is not here actually shopping for stickers. He just happened to pick those up because he needed some excuse to be at the cash register.
Do you want your receipt?
How about that?
Alright, you're all set.
Am I down?
Yep.
Are you sure about that? Do you have Instagram?
No.
You're too cool for Instagram?
I don't like social media.
Why not?
Perpetuate some bad vibes from people.
You're cute.
Thanks.
I didn't even know it was this possible to look so uninterested and uncomfortable in a social situation. She is like actually collapsing into herself from the fucking cringe of this guy right now. It's unbearable even from an outside perspective. I can only imagine how awful it must have been to like literally be there. I bet other shoppers in the store, if there are any, also haven't forgotten this day if they overheard this conversation or saw this from a distance, because my god. So this is when he finally drops the "you're cute" line, which in my case was beautiful. Mine was a little better, I'd say. And then he didn't run away. He sat there and just fucking waited for a long time. He should have just ran away, honestly. Like, he should have taken a page out of my playbook from my embarrassing fucking history of trying to talk to girls, because it would have saved him at least a little bit more embarrassment.
What hacky sack?
No,
You ever go to the beach?
not really.
Or Lake Erie? On a boat?
It's not really a beach, is it? It's a lake.
You can start to feel the desperation setting in as he knows that he needs to get out of the store quickly before security gets called, so he just starts talking about items he sees around the store like a game of I Spy. Hacky sack. You like hacky sack? Fucking feet? Do you like feet? I'm wearing shoes. Do you like my shoes? You can really see that he's trying his best, but knows that, the clock's kind of running out here. It ends kind of in a bit of a cliffhanger because you can hear him sigh, so you know he's still there. And I have to imagine that he probably just walked away after this because there's no follow-up or anything. So hopefully that's like the happy ending here. She didn't have to continue being bothered. And hopefully he learns a valuable lesson. I know I did when I did something similar. So I can only pray that he also learned the same lesson. Just don't really bother people while they're trying to work. You're not the main character in the world, so stop acting like it. Anyway, that's really about it. So yeah, I learned very early on in life that you can tell a lot about a person based on how they treat workers, whether that be retail workers at a store, waiters and waitresses at a restaurant, fast food workers, anything. It's like a little cheat code into the human psyche. You can tell if someone's an insufferable douchebag based on how they interact with employees out in the world. If someone's being mean and disrespectful to someone that's just trying to do their job, then chances are they're a worthless asshole. And I don't need to be a licensed psychologist in order to diagnose them with terminal douchebag personality syndrome. But by far the most infuriating are the stupid douchebags, the troglodyte imbeciles that will get mad at the employees for decisions the company made, as if the employees had any say-so in whatever the fuck you're complaining about. You saw it all the time during the early pandemic when companies asked that the customers wear a mask, so the employees were forced to enforce the rule, and would face so much backlash from the customers as if they were the ones that made it. Like, they're just trying not to get fired. So you have all these inbred weirdos losing their mind like, how dare you muzzle me, you goddamn communist, telling me how to live my life. I will beat your ass in the parking lot, bend over so I can suck a fart out of your butt. As if the employee that you're yelling at and threatening to beat up had anything to do with the actual thing you're complaining about. They had no say-so. They were just a fucking employee of the company doing their job. And it happens all the time in retail, but this was the first example I could think of since that was happening all over the place on Facebook back during the early pandemic. Just being rude, mean, and nasty to workers who are just doing their job is by far the easiest way to identify a piece of shit. And I'd love to show you a perfect example of this. This is a customer who's melting down at a fast food worker who quite literally did nothing wrong at all.
Hey. Can I ask you something, by the way? No, it's just that every time I come here, like, at the late night hour, I don't know why, you're, like, very, like, it's not even me, because I know it's not just me. Like, I'm sure you're, like, this way with everyone. You just, like, are very impatient. Like,
this man's face really tells the whole story, hitting this guy with the Kubrick stare and just a little bit of shock, like, are you fucking kidding me right now? You're gonna lecture me at, like, 3 a.m. here on absolute nothing? Man's hitting him with a goddamn thespian troupe monologue here. He's absolutely rehearsed this in the mirror, hyped himself up like, I'm gonna give this employee a piece of my mind over nothing.
If like, you don't want this job, you don't have to be here. Like, I'm just letting you know, like, you literally rush my order every single time, and I hate having you.
Imagine going to a fast food drive-thru and complaining that the food came out too quickly. That's the whole definition of fast food, is that it arrives in a timely manner to you. What are you there for then if you wanted slower prepared food? Go to a moderate speed restaurant. Or you can go to IHOP and never get your food, because by the time you get your food, you will have died by old age. Like, I don't understand what the complaint even is. He's mad that this guy rushed his order. That is the whole goddamn point of fast food, that it is prepared quickly for you. You are arguing a non-issue to a guy who is very clearly not interested and doesn't deserve it. This guy is just doing his job at the late night hour to serve your absolute incompetent, disrespectful, entitled ass, and you have the audacity to shit on him for it.
And I mean, I'm sure my word means nothing to you, but I'm just telling you, you have the choice to have a different profession. This isn't a profession. I'm sure you're just very incompetent and you have to work here. But I'm not being ignorant either.
Yeah, definitely not being ignorant at all. Just some kind of unhinged lunatic going through the drive-thru to insult a worker who's done nothing wrong at all. Saying that it's not a real profession and that he must be incompetent. As if the guy recording has a fucking job. He absolutely just came from an affluent family and is entitled. You can tell just by the way he talks. He probably has his pinky up on the cup that he just got there.
It's just like, I come here to get food. Who cares, like, if I've been drinking or doing whatever? Like, I come here at a late night hour, I get food. Every time I have you, I fucking hate it. It makes me sick.
Yeah, this absolute brain-rotted, goofy goober just self-reports and says that he's been drinking. So the man is drunk driving through a drive-thru, and he has it on camera and posted it himself. How dumb do you have to be? And to publicly go out there and embarrass yourself like this is so wild to me, because he recorded it himself. He planned to go to this guy and confront him for justice, you know? This one's for the people. It's time we rise up against this one employee just doing his job. So he films this, watches it back, and posts it himself saying, yep, I look pretty good here. Can't wait to share it with my friends. Post it on Facebook for all of his friends to fucking laugh at him. And now he will never live it down. He is forever known as this shit stain. This greasy goblin that insulted a worker for no reason whatsoever. And it is the ultimate delusion that he is the one belittling and insulting this worker for his job, while I imagine he himself doesn't hold down a steady job. I don't know too much about the guy personally. There's not a whole lot of info behind this person here. But just by the way he talks, I can tell that he's very entitled. He most likely came from an affluent family, driving around right now in a car his parents paid for, probably wearing a stained plaid shirt after a night of drinking with the boys, desperately trying to get laid, but getting rejected for the millionth time. So now he's just mad at the world, just full-blown bah humbug, going Scrooge right now. I'm going to the drive-thru and I'm just gonna give this guy a piece of my mind. And this is the result.
Sorry about that. No, I'm sure you're very sorry about it. I'm sure you're very sorry about it. But you are very shitty to me every time I come here.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm sure you're not actually sorry, and you're just saying that because, like, whatever's happening, or you're being recorded. So
there is nothing this guy can say or do from this point forward that will convince me that he's not an absolute insufferable douchebag. This guy could quite literally put on the cape and become the real world Batman, and I would still think he sucks. I have no respect for people like this guy. I hate it. It drives me fucking nuts. And the fact that he also loosely admits to drunk driving in the video just makes it even worse. He is two of the things I have the least respect for. Someone who's rude to workers for no reason, and a drunk driver. This man is the whole package, like the entire starter kit for being a douchebag. An actual piece of shit. So yeah, that's really about it. So yeah.